Big stories of the day. Let's get to this morning's view. We've got Vanessa, Feltz, and we've got Kevin Adams. Very good to see both of you. Thank you very much indeed. Guys, first of all, we're talking about getting back to work. And Kevin, the Prime Minister will make an announcement saying millions of us can return to the office from next month. Now, to do that, public transport's got to be running as well. And the advice is you've got to stagger starting times and all that sort of thing as well. But there's a big scary element to all of this. The government needs to get people back to work. There will be health implications. But 1 in 3 firms plan to sack staff before the furlough scheme ends in October.
People are at home and they're working from home and they're getting on okay. And they've cut down their staff and so they can save money. That's what they're going to do. And government guidance says, OK, yeah, they're advising bosses to stagger work times, but they don't want to. They want everyone in at the same time. Public transport doesn't run as it should. It never has. I'm always waiting for a train. It's always late. There's always people queuing on the platform. So until we fix that, we cannot get people back to work in a safe way.
Vanessa.
Well, it's such a difficult one because we were so easily persuaded to stay at home. At the beginning, we thought, gosh, how can we possibly work from home? Most people found a way, and actually it worked incredibly well. It was so much cheaper. You ate lunch at home. You didn't have to pay for travel. You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to get dressed. People adapted brilliantly to that and felt a lot safer. Suddenly we're being told, right, now go back to work. And I think a lot of people are thinking, why would I? Lots of bosses are thinking, we don't need you to. We don't want to run the risk. And lots of head offices and big premises are going to be closed, and that means that the economic sort of situation in our inner cities is in peril, because if we're not there travelling, buying lunch, eating it, working, everyone's going to go under. It's going to be a real problem. So it's the economy versus our health. Which one are we going to choose?
Yeah.
OK, let's talk about the Black Lives Matter statue, Kevin. This was put up, this is the Black Lives Matter campaigner, Jen Reid, and she stood up on that plinth after the Colston statue was pulled down in Bristol. That was last month. And then an artist, Mark Quinn, saw the photograph of her and was inspired to make this incredible statue, actually. But now, Bristol City Council have removed it. It was put up yesterday and it was removed very early this morning. What do you think? Should it have stayed? Were they right to take it down?
There's due process, and I understand everything is done by committee, but you have a statue, you memorialise a man who enslaved people, enslaved my forebear from Africa, took them to the Caribbean. Then after the end of slavery, he was given compensation, which equates to £7 billion, a share of £17 billion as compensation. Did they compensate the slaves? No, they did not. And then, after the Second World War, we invited people to come here from the Caribbean to work and look at a statue of a man that had enslaved their forebears. No, it doesn't work. You put up a statue, there was no, yes, there should have been due process, but it happened. Should it have happened? Yes, it should have happened.
So should Jen Reid have stayed up there?
You see, for me, no. I think it made a statement. The statement was made. She put something in the place, yes, and now that should be memorialised and put into a museum to mark what is such a positive thing for me.
Yeah, okay. Vanessa, it is being held in Bristol Museum, and Bristol City Council have said to the artist, you can collect it or you could donate it to one of our collections. Do you think it's something that should stay in the museum or seem put back on that plinth?
Oh, gosh, I think it should be put on the plinth partly because of what it signifies and what it emblemizes, but also because it's brilliant. It's by Mark Quinn. He's that wonderful sculptor who gave us Alison Lapper Pregnant. Do you remember that incredible sculpture that was in Trafalgar Square? It's brilliant, and it absolutely evokes a spirit and a feeling of this time, which is the time to commemorate the protesters and all that they have suffered and all that they were there to protest against. I think it should have stayed up on the plinth, at least till they took a vote in in Bristol to see what people felt. And I think it should jolly well get another chance to get back on that plinth now.
There's a knee-jerk reaction, I think, Vanessa, from a lot of people say, well, who the heck's Jen Reid and why should she be up there and whatever. But I tend to agree with you. I think it was a magnificent work of art, and I think it was very much of its time. And I saw an in-depth report on Channel 4 News last night on Jen Reid and her family, who were Windrush people. And I thought appropriate, artistic. I just thought it was very much of its time. But Kevin, just final word on this?
I think we should have someone there like a Rosa Parks, someone that did something positive.
Yes.
I like history. I want history. And as a black man, I want a role model there that I can see. Like my mother, there is no one better than her. Rosa Parks is a positive story. And I love the statue, but no, it should not be there. Sorry. OK, fair point. Thank you for that. Right, on the subject of art, so we can...
No, I was talking about going out for dinner. So,
Why, are we going out?
We might go out, actually. We might go out this weekend. A lot of restaurants, obviously, pubs and things opening again. And we heard Tom Kerridge, the chef, complaining just earlier in the week of no-shows. So they've taken all this effort to open the restaurants and they had so many people just didn't show up. And now celebrity chef Paul Ainsworth is complaining about the same thing at his pub, the Mariners pub in Cornwall. 27 no-shows. He's absolutely furious. What do you make of that, Vanessa?
Well, I think that maybe restaurants are going to have to start doing the unprecedented thing and getting people to pay some type of deposit in advance, because it's going to be so expensive for them to open at all with the extra staff, with the extra spacing, far fewer clients allowed in. And if you're so selfish as to book a table and not show up, they're making a loss before you've even started. It's not good behaviour. They need to do something to stop us doing it.
Yeah, he says, Kevin, to those 27 people who thought it was OK not to show tonight, you are very wrong. We were ready for you. Such a shame you thought this was an OK thing to do. And the restaurants and bars and things have taken so much trouble, haven't they, in effort to be able to reopen, to social distancing, deep cleansing. What do you make of people that don't even make a phone call to say that they're not coming?
I understand people have trepidation about going back out into public. I understand that. If you book a table, you must know you're going to go to the restaurant. You must know you want to go. And then if you decide you don't want to go, then you have to pay some form of money to these people. Businesses have been closed for so long, they need money. The same way as I used to go to a coffee shop, a well-known coffee shop, a branded coffee shop. I've stopped going to that coffee shop. I'm going to a local. The money needs to come back into this country, not go to America, where the said coffee shop is from.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Maybe you should, whether your appointment...
to call, isn't it?
No, I'll tell you what will do it. Put a deposit down. Take a deposit from them.
Vanessa says, yeah.
Yeah, but it was also saying that if you had to do that with your doctor's appointment, Vanessa, it would sort those out as well.
And it certainly would. I mean, it would sort out the malingerers and the messers. And I agree with Kevin. You know, if you think you want to go to a restaurant, bother to make a booking. For goodness sake, deliver on your promise, or at least have the courtesy to say you're not going to show up.
So,
how can
Vanessa,
businesses possibly run otherwise?
Tell me this. OK, say you book for 8 o'clock in the evening, right?
Yes.
And you turn up at 8:20. Would you expect, if your table...
Like you might, Mr. Lateness. I would be there at 8 o'clock, Vanessa, as you know, on the dot.
My point was this: would you, if your table was given away, would you complain? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I would call, you see.
Well,
I would call on my way to say, I'm terribly sorry, we're held up, but we are coming.
Before coronavirus, I might have been a bit miffed, but now I would understand, and I really would try and show up on time if I were going to go at all, and actually haven't decided to do that yet. Don't yet feel like sitting inside a restaurant. Not really, not yet.
Would you go, Kevin? Have you been out yet to eat?
My friend's got a restaurant, a local restaurant. It's absolutely lovely. You sit outside. So, yes, I would go there. You have to be 15 minutes early. If you're 15 minutes late, these people have to sterilise tables, sterilise chairs, do them some respect and be early. Be early.
It's respect. It is respect, actually, just to even let them know. Because also they might have the chance then, if you call to say, look, for some reason we can't make it, they might go to maybe even on social media to let people know that then there are tables available and fill those gaps.
If we get back to putting a deposit down, if you put a deposit down, if you put your money down, you will be there on time. If you don't pay a deposit, you won't be there on time. Enough's enough. We're all trying to make money.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, we're out of time here, and I'm just looking at my watch.
He's a stickler for time, as you know.
YouTube overrun. There are other people waiting to come in for interview slots, so we'll say goodbye. But Vanessa, you're back for the phone in, yeah? So we've got you. We've got you later. And Kevin, lovely to see you again, my friend, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Kevin,
much
thank you.
indeed.